randoms keep getting jobs. Don't worry about it. I'm going to say, I can't wait to say it. I love it. I love it. Go.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NotBland Show, and I'm your host, NotBland, and today we're going to have a special show having on four-time Top Fuel champion Antron Brown. What a season it was for the 2024 season, and Pomona was a great crescendo for the season. A lot of great things went on during that race. Kind of wacky beginning, and really the whole entire race was kind of wacky. Just things that you didn't expect to see. And I think we talked about that in the pre-race show that we had here about the unexpected, expecting the unexpected. And we got a lot of that. Mother Nature was a part of that as well. Raining out a session that could have been the deciding factor for a few drivers if they were to have made it to the final. Would have fell short by 2 points. And those 2 points could have been made up in that session that got rained out. So really, really cool stuff that happened during this race and during this last race of the season. Sam, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Should be having Antron shortly. And Memphis says, Antron, how difficult was it to – I will give him this question as soon as he gets in. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that too, man. That's something I'm going to lead with when we get to that point, because I don't know how you get yourself ready. It's kind of like NFL players when they get ready and they come in, they get warmed up, you get out to the field, it's about ready to kick off, and then everybody's got to go to the locker room because there's a severe thunderstorm that just happened, and it delays you for 45 minutes to an hour. Now you've got to do this process all over again. And it throws you off. And then it's like, okay, well, do we come out and play with the same intensity that we did initially? And, it's so wacky, how those things can go in a season. I was thinking about all that time to think about it. You're going against one of the best levers in the business. And you got delayed. And you got to think about it some more. And then you got to go up there. You got to put that out. You got to reset. You got to get in the mind frame of, I've got to get this thing down there, but I've also got to leave in a timely fashion. And that's got to be tough. That was a big first round matchup. Really unfortunate for Justin. So close to another championship and unable to do that. It's just unfortunate. Let me send out a little reminder here. Sorry, don't want to have all this. There he is. So we're going to go to commercial break right now. We're going to pay these bills for our sponsor. And then we'll come back and we'll have Antron Brown on the show.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, You can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
We want to thank our sponsor, Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, and they're going to be part of it throughout the entire season, even including football and going right into drag racing. And we want to thank Antron Brown for taking the time to come on the show. I know you're doing the rounds, and I really appreciate you taking the time coming on the NotBland show again.
Anytime. My pleasure. It's been a heck of a race season right now, man, and truly blessed, brother. Truly blessed, and trying to just keep it going, making it happen. And I tell you what, man, it came down to a wire, and the entertainment value surely did not disappoint the race fans this year. I tell you that much. It is us racers don't like that. You know what I mean? And but that's what you got to do. You got to take it. You got to take it. And but it's great the way the story and the narrative played out, and it played into our favor. And man, I'll tell you what, man, this class is unreal this year without a doubt. Yeah,
it's sick. I take you back earlier in the season, and at the beginning of this season here, you guys got off to a little bit of a wobbly start coming into the first 4 races of the season. You got your legs underneath you right there at the 4 wide, and that was really the catapulting point to push you guys right in Chicago to get that win, that first one. You had 2 first-round exits coming in after that at Epping and Bristol, but then you guys just go on a tear. Semifinal in Richmond, a win, losing to Josh Hart in Seattle, but another win. It was an impressive start. Now, coming into at the end of the regular season, you guys had like a 19-11 round win-loss record, but you had 3 wins. That was a huge help. What was the catalyst when it seemed like you had a little bit of momentum, you get a couple wins, and all of a sudden you come out and it's like, dang, we just went out first round. How was it? How were you able to just kind of keep focused, the guys keep focused, and just keep chopping wood?
We just got to tell them that it's just like it's a process. And that's the main thing, is to be great and to win championships. You got to be steadfast, where you're going to have downs, you're going to have ups, but you got to learn how to control it. And that's one thing that I was telling my guys is that don't get down when we have bad races, and don't get too up when we win, as long as we're learning and growing. And when the racetracks in the middle of the year, when they start getting – that's one thing that our crew chief does well. They're able to evolve and manipulate the rate, the car to go with the racetrack surface. Only thing that we've been working on right now with our new setups that we have is trying to get our car to be more aggressive and to be able to hit those home run runs. And what I mean by home run runs is to run, which we did early in the season in testing, where we ran 65, 66, 67s, but to do it at the pull of a trigger. And this year we had a couple things that changed in our combination that made it hard to do that, where we have to work on that for next year. And that's our main plan, is to work on it, where our goal next year is to come out swinging where we can qualify in the top half the field all the time and swing for the fences. Our main goal this all season is to come out to be aggressive next year. That's going to be our goal to do. We know we can race and pull it back, but we want to be able to be the drop low ET and set some world records and set some mile-an-hour records, and that's what we're going to start working on. That's our main focus. So with that being said, we know going in that the competition, what you're seeing out there, is the competition's got to a different level now. Yeah. Like you see where Doug Clutter, last year's champ, he won a race, and the next race he comes out, he don't qualify. I mean, that's the level of competition, man. The U.S. Nationals, we had over like 26 cars trying to qualify for the U.S. Nationals this year, and we had all rounds of qualifying. We didn't miss a round of qualifying, and there were some big teams that messed up and did not make the show. That's being aggressive, and it didn't work out for you. So it's one of those deals where you got to figure out how to like level that out, come out and do a run that gets you in the show, and then you got to show out. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to work on this off season, where we qualified for most of the year in the top half of the field, but we had several races where we qualified. I think about four races or 5 races that we qualified in the bottom half, which we don't like that at all, because you set yourself up for a really, really tough first round competitor, which they got a tough first round competitor because everybody's tough now. So I don't think it really makes a difference. But when you qualify there, it sets the statement where you kind of control the narrative because you get lane choice and you have more better runs down the racetrack than the other competitor does, where you can work off of that going into elimination. So that gives you a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, it really does. And, I had your crew chief on, Brian Karate, on the show. I believe it was like right after Sonoma. And then after that, Brainerd first round loss, Indy first round loss. And usually when they come on the show, it's usually I give you guys a little bit of mojo. So I'm sorry about that, Antron. The mojo did not transfer. But you guys were able to rebound great in Reading. And that started the track and the trajectory that you guys were on to put you guys in position to be able to make a play in Pomona.
Yes, it did. And Reading, I mean, we just started going on a roll there, brother. And we raced a lot of tough people. Like, it started off with Tony Stewart, you see right there. And then we took him out, close drag race in the first round. And we just kept on going. That was Sonoma in the finals right there.
Sonoma.
But then we just used stuff like that to push us. And then we raced Sean Langdon in the final, which he was the favor in that final round because of the way his car was running. And we slowly got better throughout eliminations. And then we outran him and left on him, where they were like, where'd that come from? Well, we always had that in the box. All we had to do is keep nipping at it. You know what I mean? And they were doing their job where they was going down the track, running really, really good ETs, and Sean Langdon's cutting the tree down. Then we come out into Charlotte, and we did the exact same thing where we just kept it going, and we kept the momentum and won the first two races in a row, and it leapfrogged us in the first, and we stayed in first throughout the countdown until Dallas, and we raced Justin Ashley in the first round.
He's frozen a little bit, guys. He'll come back. Frozen just a little bit. But, they were able to race him in the first round, and they lost. I'm going to ask him about it when we get him back. Okay, he's back. You had Justin Ashley in that first round in Dallas, and y'all lost. And, you met him two other times during the regular season, and it was 2-0, Antron Brown. 1-1 in the playoffs, and that one is in Pomona.
Yes.
Look, you start the race. You get all the pre-race ceremonies done. Everything's good to go. We're getting ready to hit the field. I'm suited up. We're ready to make a play. And then we have the unexpected, a plane crash. And now you have to sit and think about this first round matchup even longer. It seemed like this weekend we had the Iceman back. And it seemed like you were very calm. I will say you were like your crew chief, because Brian Karate is super calm as well. And you were really calm and collected. And I was going to ask you the question as well, but you had 2 hours. How were you able to just accept what happened and then re-gear up for this matchup and not waver, because you got a guy in the other lane that can leave and leave really well. So there can't be any mistakes. What were you doing in that time period?
Man, I was literally, when I came back, I came back and I just went back in the trailer and I laid on the couch. I literally laid on the couch, put my head over my head, and I said, I just got to relax. Instead, what I did, I actually chilled out because the adrenaline was in high gear. Like, I was ready. I was focused. I was zoned in. And like, once we found out the people in the plane crash was okay, my heart was a little bit at ease, because thinking about it always hurts if somebody gets hurt or somebody's lose their life in a bad incident would happen. So after that was all said and done, I'm like, all right, they're going to be all right. Let everything settle. The dust settle. Everything's good. Relax. Took a breath, and I relaxed, man. I went back in the locker room. You know what I mean? But a lot of people fail to realize, okay? We'll give you an example. Remember, Justin Ashley is like Kobe Bryant, okay? He's a killer like Kobe Bryant was, right? But you got to remember, I'm MJ, baby. I'm MJ. That's what people fail to realize, man. You fail to realize, like you get what I mean? I'm not 45 either. I'm 23, baby. I'm 23. Right? So what happened is that in my career, that's all I got my career from is by being on time. You know what I mean? Leaving on time. Right. And I did have some different blockages throughout the last couple of years because getting AB Motorsports underway, getting it going. But if you looked at the stats in the countdown to the championship, I've been on point leaving the starting line. Haven't been late. In Dallas, I was late. I missed the tree, and he got me. Okay, we ran close to ET. I still think he would have won the race because I think he cut a phenomenal light. I think Justin cut like a 40 light where I could have been like a 45 or 48. Still wasn't enough to get the job done. You get what I mean? So that round was going to be his regardless. He was just on point. And then when we came out here, I'm just coming off the last race where we were on point, and I just zoned in. And in the first round against him, I blanked it all out, got in that zone where I was 43 to his 45. Next round, I had Sean Langdon. I was 40 flat to his 49. I had Brittany, and they put me in the left lane with the sun in my eyes looking at the tree. I mean, I saw sunlight in my eye, and it was so hard. NHRA should have let the sun go down more before we ran that round. And she had stayed on a tree, and I was still 51 to her. I forget what she was on the tree, 70 or 68. She was somewhere around there. Then the final, once the sun went down, Doug Collette and myself got to be gladiators. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was gladiators. There we go. There's me and Brittany right there. Yeah, I was 51 to her 75. So, and the sun in my eye. You see the sun? See how the sun's in everybody's eye on that side of the track?
That was
the sun's
terrible.
coming right down in your eyes, and I had to look at the tree in the sun. See the sun in my eye? The way I got to look at the tree?
Yeah, that's terrible.
So now I'm at the big end where I'm finally in the shade, but that's the messed up part about that racetrack. But I tell you, after that, man, I just got locked in the final, and me and Doug, we were after it. I think Doug was 51 on the tree, and I was 38. Yeah, 38 to 51. I remember. Yep. And that's going to be a really close drag race because we only had 13 thou on the tree. So Doug would have had to run a 66 with a 5, like a 66 with an 8 or better, which he could have. I mean, that car could run 64s, 65s, but they'll know what happened when he went 71. But I guarantee you, I know for sure, Alan Johnson was not trying to run no 71. No. They had to have a power issue or some kind of malfunction for that car to slow up.
Indeed. That 68, I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I was like, what else cannot happen this weekend? We're seeing all kinds of big numbers, a lot of 60s on the board. What an incredible way to end the season. And, like they say, put the ball in the quarterback's hands and let him make a play. Crew chiefs gave you a car all weekend long. They put the ball in your hands. And once you got through those two hurdles, I heard Brian Loans talk about the fact that once you got through round one, he just knew that it was going to be your day. And it darn sure looked like it, especially when you can smoke the tires and the other guy just completely bangs the blower. He's dead in the water. The safety stuff comes out, the chutes come out. And when you get a mulligan and it's on your side, it's going to have to be your day.
Brother, it's one of those deals where it comes back because I can tell you a lot of races, it doesn't go our way, but we got to be perfect. We got to be dead on, and we race all the killers every time. And people that don't cut 50 lights, they cut 50 lights against us. Yeah. Like if I go out there and cut a 60, they don't cut a 48 and put us on the trailer. It's always seemed like we always have the hard road. And but sometimes when you go through the hard roads, sometimes, man, you got to create your own luck. You line up, and then people are trying because they know how deadly you are. I mean, when we raced Brittany, she didn't leave the starting line. Like, she went out there because this is what people don't understand. When you're on a racetrack surface like we were on, it's not Disneyland. The track condition was so good because it was so cold. It's a double-edged sword. If you run a 65, that means the car ain't going to go a 65 every time. It might not make it off the starting line because you got to get wheel speed on a track that's so tight, and it'll make it jump off the line and shake the tires.
That's pressure. I mean, just for a crew chief, but even with you guys in the car, like you know the factors, you understand what is going to be needed, and you're like,
here we go.
If I don't have to pedal this thing.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back in action. But that's what happens on those track conditions like that, where it gets so tight that it just it can go and not go. And you saw it 2 rounds in a row. The competitors I raced could not go because it literally they were trying to get after. And I talked to David Grubnick, Brittany's crew chief, who goes, "Yeah, Antron, we're going to run a 65 against you." I'm like, I believe it. I believe it.
They were trying, you know what I mean? For sure.
I said, trust me. I said, well, David, we tried that the round before, and it didn't work out for us. So we backed off to try to get to go down the racetrack, and it did.
Yeah. Nicole has a great question. We saw Sean Reed have a tremendous upswing in this second half of the season. Did that partnership with the team really help that?
I tell you what, the partnership with Sean Reed, it was really good because a fresh person in our sport, great personality, and his crew chief, Rob Winland, works really well with our guys on our team, with Brian, Karate, Mark, and Brad, and everyone.
He'll be back. And Blake will be sure to keep this up. Yeah. We're going to go over some stats for Antron as far as his titles. There we go. You were talking about his crew chief and
Rob Winland. Winland. Like, they all work well with our team. And when they work well together, they're able to lean on each other, and we can learn some more. Like, their chassis is a little different, but we learn a little bit. And we learn back and forth. Like, as we got him going, we got him up to speed. And that's the whole thing about teaming up. We help him get up to speed and give him a good engine combination and get him to start out with the clutch, where our cars are really, really similar to being just alike. Yeah. And we're able to learn off each car. If they go over and do this, we know what they did. They know what we do. And then we press on it, and then we make a game plan for this all season to even get better and get stronger. And that's the game plan.
Man, Drag Race Mayhem says, how has the post-championship celebration been? It's just one of those things. It's one of those things with live, right? You just have to roll with it. Antron has some amazing stats, though, that I want to bring up. Sense. There you go. We lost you for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here.
It's live, man. That's what happens.
Oh, live. That's the live.
It's live.
It
happens,
like
man. It happens.
You know?
But you guys having a great time celebrating, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And we get to do it all off season. And it's something that all this whole AB Motorsport team deserves, man. They actually deserve this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the main thing about it is that they worked so hard. Everybody's put the time in, from everybody in the front office staff everywhere, man. Is a totally team effort, without a doubt.
I want to throw some stats at you, Antron. I don't know if some of these things have set in for you yet. This is your 4th title, and you broke the tie with Garlett, Shirley, and Gary Selzy Dixon, who have 3. This is, the 64th win. You're 2nd in Top Fuel all-time wins, right behind the man, the one they call the Sarge, Tony Schumacher. You have 80 career wins total. That's including your pro stock motorcycle career. You are the first single car to win a title since 2017, and the first single car team with no alliances, including Funny Car, since Kenny Bernstein in 2001. All of these stats are brought to you by DragRaceReference.com. Does that sink in?
Man,
I mean, the names we talked about, Joe Amato. I mean,
just to be
you're up there
aligned
with
with
the
those
greats,
names, man. Just to be mentioned with them, brother, makes you like. Right now, I'm tingling right now, man. I got goosebumps on my arms and my hair's raising up right now. Just thinking about it, man. Just thinking about where we came from to where we're at. You know, it's very, very, very special.
I throw another one at you, and this one I take pride in because I find it to be very important. You are the first African American who owns a pro team to win a championship.
Man,
that's amazing. And when I look at that and I hear that, there's not many people that look like us that are drivers right now, not let alone owners. But I look at the stuff that you're setting forth with these driver initiative programs. You're very open and willing to helping others and teaching them how to benefit themselves as team owners and as teams and how to operate. Have you thought about the impact that it's having on African Americans to encourage them to that it can be done? You can achieve this if you work it, if you put your mind to it, you can get to this point.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, is just letting people see the whole story and let them know that you can achieve anything in life that you really set your mind to. And it's just not just the hard work, but it's about putting yourself out and around the right people. And the hardest thing is let people know that you're going to make mistakes along the way, and it's okay as long as you're growing and learning from them, not to do the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? For me, I tell people, when you know that you're starting to get to where you want to be at in life is when you're getting uncomfortable. When you're getting uncomfortable, you're putting yourself out there and you're doing things to grow. And you know why you're uncomfortable? Because you're doing things you've never done before. Yeah. That's the key. That is the key. And when I tell you that, brother, have I been uncomfortable these last 3 years? Oh, yes, I have. Oh, yes, I have. Like, you got to make payroll. You got to have money coming in. You got to watch your cash flow, making that right. Like, a lot of people know what that's like. Like, some people know what it's like to get a check coming in.
Right.
They know how to pay their bills. But then when you have all the other people around you, they're your responsibility too. Like their well-being, their mindset, because that is their mindset and their attitude is how your team's going to operate and how they're going to get along. So you got to make sure everybody's on their best foot forward and mindset right to achieve that and to make that happen. And it opens up a whole nother, can of worms, brother, that you got to manage and do, but it's very rewarding. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it gives me a place to inspire and to show other people and to open up opportunity for them to seize and to grab and to get. And me, I like seeing some of the people that have that same passion or eye that I had when I was that age. And when I see that, I want to unleash it. And I want them to be a part of this so they can open themselves up and to become all that they dreamed of and more. And that's what the AB Motorsports is all about. That's why it has the cross in the middle, man. We're bringing it all together, brother, bringing it all together, putting God first and bringing everybody together. And if you have that kind of faith, anything's achievable and anything's possible.
I believe that, the company that I represent in Sports Journey, same model, been here for almost 13 years. And you're right. When you do the right things, when you take the right steps, when you, put your trust in God and let him guide your steps, you usually will work out on the top end. You were able to work with someone in a Don Schumacher that one of the greatest to ever do it, especially in team owning. You were able to see a lot of different things and be able to take from that and bring it to the table for yourself. what are some of the things that really stood out when you like used and remembered and put in the forefront of your mind when you started to this process with AB Motorsports?
Well, one thing is, like, all the people that's at DSR, he had a really, really great group of people that was around him. That's what made DSR so great. And it started with all the crew chiefs. He picked all the crew chiefs that basically were the ones that were running the teams. You get what I mean? The crew chiefs, assistant crew chiefs, and the car chiefs, they were the front administrators at the race teams, and he ran them. He had a really good group of them. And then I was a driver that was very active, where I was in the shop a lot. Like, I was in the shop almost every day, seeing what's going on, what's happening, knew the business, knew how much we spent on parts and pieces, how we make this go, how do we make that go. And then I was very fortunate, like, to be on the side of all the people that we have. Like, Brad's at the shop right now, Mason, who is like our team manager, who orders all the parts and pieces, helps put all the cars together, get all the guys going together. And me and him have been together since day one. And then Brian Karate and Mark Oswald came the next year in 2009, where we went off on a winning spree and won like 6 races that year. We were on the Mike Ashley umbrella, who owned the team at the time.
Yeah.
And it was a great, great deal. You know what I mean? Like, how everything came together. And it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable of all the success we had together. And we just kept that nucleus. Even though we separated for a little bit here and there and here and there, we all ended up back together. And it made our relationship a lot more stronger. You know what I mean? And and we only grew from there. And that was the key that I learned from it, from Don Schumacher, is if you put yourself around the right people, and with the same mindset, that has the same passion, that they're not worried about hitting or punching a clock. All they're worrying about is the success of the team. There's no time limit. You know what I mean? There's no time off. We talk on the weekends, brother, that we're supposed to have off, making plans. Like, hey, man, what you doing? I just thought about this, AB, man. What you think about this? Hey, Brian, I thought about Brad. What you think, man? What you think about, like, and Mark, man, AB, I got this going on. And, like, we're always constantly innovating and moving forward to try to be better. And that's what makes it special.
Yeah. I got 2 more for you before we let you go. Mark Oswald is going to ride off into the sunset. And boy, what a way to ride off into the sunset. You win a championship and you walk off. Like, thanks, God, thanks for coming out. God bless. Good night type of thing. I know from talking to Brian Karate that there are plenty of individuals that are on that team that are very well capable of taking his spot. I know that will be announced a lot later, but tell us what Mark Oswald has meant to you and this team.
I tell you what, Mark, man, it's like, where do you start? That's the problem, man. He's an incredible human being, man, period. Before you even get to his knowledge on his engineering side, his ingenuity, the way he understands racing and how to race, and his mindset, the way he is with people, and he educates you, he builds you. He does the same thing on the race car, and he just makes people around him better. Like you can have a bad day and you go around Mark Oswald, it's going to turn around. You know what I mean? He's that type of person. And for me, going through my whole professional career, and I spent all those years with Mark, except for one in Top Fuel, my first year. He's never left my side, man. And he's somebody that's like an older brother to me that I look up to, that never passes a judgment, never does anything, but inspires me and makes me a much better person. And I can lean on him. I can talk to him about anything. I can bounce anything off of him if I'm trying to do something. Man, man, he's helped me out in so many different situations, personally and professionally. Man, it's been unreal. And I know I'm not losing that. He's always going to be on the phone. And when I go to Louisiana, I'm going to stay at his house. I go fishing with him and everything else like that. But it's just when I walk in that race trailer, that void's going to be there, man. I think not just for me, but for everybody, because we rely on him. And I never took him for granted, ever took him for granted. It's just that's why it's so heartfelt me talking about him, that I'm going to truly miss him for sure.
Yeah. So Antron, what are you going to be doing this off season? Any door slammer driving you going to be doing?
Just a little bit, man. I'm going to try it. We're going to try to swing it. I'm going to be partner up with Manny Bajing. I'm going to be driving his race car. Okay. It's the all red Lexus Pro Charger car. And with Pro Charger on board, Lucas Oil, Maco Tools, Hanksford is going to be out there with us too. Summit Racing. We have a lot of different partners that's going to chip in and help this deal out. So Impact with all our safety equipment is going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to it. And Ken, the owner of Pro Charger, and Walt and all them guys over there, they've been helping us out leaps and bounds getting this thing off the ground. So I'm excited, man. It's a 3-race series, just one race in December, one race in January, one race in at the end of February going into March. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be at Bradenton Motorsports Park, Drag Illustrated putting on it.
Oh, nice.
Snowbird Nationals coming up here December 6th through the 8th weekend. Then we have another one in February. I don't know if we have that on the calendar yet. Yeah, February 6th through the 8th. Oh, no, that's our pro shootout. It's going to be in the middle of February for that race. And then the last race is February 20. In the mid-January, we will have the U.S. Street Nationals. Then we'll have the one at the end of February, 27th, 28th, and March 1st. So it's coming, man. I'm going to do some of that, but we're going to be working on our Top Fuel program also between all that to get ready for next year and to get testing and get all that stuff right and work on some new stuff for sure.
Yeah. Is Brian bringing his car out? He mentioned something about that in September when I had him on the show. Is he going to bring his Pro Mod out?
Brother, Brian is bringing his Pro Mod out, and we're going to have Zach Zachman driving it because we're all part of that too. That's our second Pro Mod car. But we're making to make an official announcement. But since you bring it up, I want to let the cat out the bag. So you got a little bit a deal on the NotBland show today. You know what I mean? But,
that's what's up.
But what you got to stay tuned for is the delivery on it, the scheme on it is something special that they're throwing way back, a tribute to Mike Ashley back in the days for all the stuff he's done for Brian, and Mark, and all of us, and is a theme off of some of his Pro Mod car stuff. So it's coming out. Justin, his son, had the option to design it and put it all together.
Yeah.
So it's all coming out, man. It's going to be something very, very, very special. You're going to be able to see it a mile away. And it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Antron, I thank you for taking the time to come on the show again. Congratulations to you and the team. I know the hard work that you've put in on and off the racetrack to get to this point and to have it culminate the way that it did in Pomona is just special. And I look forward to talking to you again in the off season before we get to Gainesville.
All right. Well, that sounds like a plan, my man. I appreciate you for your time as always.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Antron Brown, everybody. What a race. What a race, man. And what a guy. Really, really good guy. And he's building something great over there. We'll go to commercial and we'll close this thing out. Talking Funny Cars tonight. That's right, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Buddy Hall will be talking to Fast Jack Beckman, the guy who won the race for John Force and that Peak Chevrolet at Pomona. Man, what a race for that team and that organization. Super awesome to see that. Man, we're going to have a lot of things to talk about here over the next couple of weeks. We're going to keep the thing rolling. We're going to keep things going with the Nitro and with NHRA. We'll have drivers on. We're looking to have media personalities on as well. We're going to kind of break things down in notches, really fine-tooth comb it and talk about the different scenarios and things that could have happened, where we can improve, who we're looking forward to jump up next year. So it'll be a lot to talk about. Of course, we'll be talking NFL here as well as we get into basketball season. I don't get to pay attention to much of that, so we'll have our experts on to talk about that as well. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to preview this show right after Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall. We'll do a premiere and we'll replay at 8:30 Eastern. So if anybody wants to watch it, share it with them. We'll premiere it here again tonight at 8:30. For Sports Journey, for Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, I want to thank you guys for the work and for the support that you guys have given the show. Absolutely amazing and humbling. I want to thank all the people that I have made friends with and friendships with and grown with throughout all of this. Thank you so much. We will not have a show Tuesday, so enjoy your families. That's really what it's all about. So thank you. For the NotBland Show, I'm Dujane Bland, presented by SportsJourney.com, sponsored by Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. Until 2 weeks from now, you guys be safe out there and enjoy.